And welcome back to West Coast Weekend. I am questionably still Zoe Vermillion, and I am joined here with Waifu. How you doing, Waifu?
I'm good. Just ready to do my favorite speedrun.
And we got a couple commentators here too. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. Hey there, everyone. I'm Demonic Robots. I'm going to be helping with commentary.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eurus. I'm also going to help with commentary. This beautiful speedrun.
Yeah, we're in for a good one. I've asked the other runners I've had on tonight, what got you into this? Why Left 4 Dead 2 for a speedrun?
One day I was just like scrolling through speedrun.com and like thinking of like, oh, what games like would be fun that I didn't like think about speedrunning before, and then it was suggested to me to try Left 4 Dead 2, and I was like, well, how the heck do you even speedrun Left 4 Dead 2? Like, everything's random, right? It's super hard, and it's a source game, so I figured there'd be bunny hopping. And then I just watched some runs, and I was like, holy cow, this is insane. Like, really want to learn that.
Yeah, it definitely is how I picked up most of my speed games is, what game do I want to run? Let's watch this. Oh, no, that looks fun.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, so we're in for a treat. I've seen this run like once or twice before, so I know if Chad hasn't seen it, this will be fun. But if you want to give us a countdown.
All right, cool. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Left 4 Dead 2 main campaign solo. And that means it's the main 5 Left 4 Dead 2 campaigns. I mean, Dark Carnival, Hard Rain Swamp, Fever, The Parish, done solo on any difficulty. So I'm allowed to switch difficulties, and I'm completely by myself. And I'm gonna kill these companions right here because they're really, really slow. And maybe one of you guys can help explain exactly why they're so slow.
So basically, if you complete the map and you close the safe room door, the game will not end. You will have to wait until everyone gets to the safe room, or everyone that is outside the safe room is dead. So it's just faster to kill the bots rather than just waiting for them to get to the safe room. The bots are really slow.
Yeah, every single map that you don't kill the bots on and you let them like chase you, you could lose like a couple minutes, actually. They're very slow.
Also, on some maps, you complete the map faster than they bleed out. So you need to damage them so they bleed out faster before you get to the safe room. As you see, the main
oh my god, I did it. Okay, I really wanted to hit that, so I was concentrating.
Wow. So yeah, as you see,
Go ahead.
Okay. There's bunny hopping in this game, but it's not that simple as in other Source games. In this game, it is really hard because the game has a really low tick rate. It's on 30, and you also can like maintain speed through like friction. If you land on the ground, then you're gonna lose all your speed in 1 tick. That's why you need to time your jumps perfectly, and you have 1/30 of the second to react.
Yeah.
So as soon as you land on the ground, you need to jump, and that's how you maintain the speed.
Yeah. So basically, if you don't know what bunny hopping is, it's like the same across most Source games, like Half-Life. Basically, your movement speed is capped while you hold W, but only while you hold W. So if you just alternate between A and D, you can actually increase your speed by falling and turning the direction that you were falling in the air. And if you jump the very same instance that you hit the ground, you won't lose any of your speed. So you can just continuously do this until you go really fast. Like Eurus said, though, in this game it's a lot harder than like Half-Life or something, because you are forced to use a single input. You can't spam a scroll wheel or anything to do the jump inputs.
Yeah, so that's always the confusing thing. Like people always ask, like, "Oh, why don't you just bind it to mouse wheel?" You know, because then you can input as many scroll inputs as you can do in like very rapid succession. But in this game, you can actually hear it through his mic. Like you hear that tapping. That's him hitting the space bar every single time, because otherwise it just straight up won't work. In the category that he runs doesn't allow for b-hop scripts. There is a separate category for that, but that's kind of goes more into the kind of task area or segmented. But so he can't really like, you know, cheat the system, so to speak. He just has to hit the timing every time. And it's kind of hard because, you know, there's not a whole lot of flat surfaces like this one right here where you land on the ground really far out. You have to still carry that momentum and time it perfectly.
Yeah, and so we haven't mentioned it yet, but this game is really, really, really RNG heavy. Everything is random, like everything. Enemy spawns are random, special affected spawns are random, tank spawns are random, weapon and item spawns are random. So you really have to have a lot of game knowledge.
Can be random.
Yeah, even map layout can be random sometimes. So you really have to know a lot and know how to adapt.
So yeah, that's also the thing about the speedrun, that is more of like trying to adapt to RNG that you got, rather than speedrunning the same thing like all over again. Just every run is something different every time.
Excuse me, Rochelle, I need that shotgun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, so this is any difficulty category, which means that you're allowed to use a vote bind to switch difficulties on the fly. This is really useful because you can't actually do team damage on easy. So if you were to play on easy the whole time, you'd have to wait for bots and that'd be super slow. And then if you weren't allowed to vote difficulties, you'd have to play on expert. And on expert, common infected do 20 damage to you per hit if they hit you in the front. So that's like super yikes. Although that doesn't mean that the run itself is easy. It's very much not. You have to hit really good B-hops, which again is like every hop is a tick perfect trick. So 30 FPS frame perfect basically. And since the game is designed to be played in a multiplayer setting, the special infected are balanced in a way that they can incapacitate you immediately. And if you're grabbed by a special and you're alone, you are just dead. There's nothing you can do.
Oh, this is interesting. So another quick little thing is we can see his health bar there. I can't remember exactly what the value is. I think he's actually
39.
pretty close to it.
It's on
39.
It's below 40 when you get a slowdown.
Yeah, if you go below 40, what ends up happening is your character gets a drastic decrease in their movement speed. So it's a good thing that he didn't get hit there a little bit more, because otherwise he drops down to a huge reduced movement speed, and that makes these areas a lot more difficult.
Yeah, you can negate that movement speed loss by hitting B-hops, but as soon as you miss one, you go even slower, so it's like really bad.
Yeah.
But this is also called coaster skip. We're playing
Oh.
on the earliest patch of the game for a multitude of reasons, but mostly because of skips like that and the ability to vote as many times as you want.
Yeah,
And-
that's
Go for it.
also the thing that you can no longer vote anytime you want on later patches. Although on the latest one it was added back again, that you can vote as many times as you want on single player. But yeah, of course, the earliest patch is still the fastest.
So this is Barnes. Barnes is probably one of the worst sections in the whole game because it's really, really hard. You almost always get a tank spawn. Tanks are random and you don't always get them, but on a map like this, it's very, very common that you get one. And I grabbed a boomer bile on the first map. That was really important because it's going to make this one way easier. Earlier there, I was able to go through those two tents. That is actually random. Sometimes a fence spawns in the way and you have to do what is known as a common boost. Maybe one of you guys can explain that. Oh, great tank.
Yeah, so basically when you hop on the zombies' heads, the common infected's heads, it'll actually kill them immediately. They'll just kind of drop dead. And it's a little hard to hit, but for the most part, you can consistently do a common boost that he's going to do right here, where he's going to let the zombies come up to him. He's going to spam his jump and then try and jump off of one of their heads. And for whatever reason, it sends you flying upwards a lot and you get a pretty big boost. It also makes this area like that, yeah. It also makes this area a lot easier because the way that the AI works. It has like all these little pathing nodes to find the players, but if you're in a spot that you're not supposed to be, they don't know how to path to you, so they just kind of have a little bit of a rave down there and, you know, dance to Coach sitting up there.
Yeah, and the tank got stuck, and so he just died right there, as you can see on the subtitles, and that is what you were hoping for. By going in a spot that they can't path to, they'll ideally just die. That happens with commons as well. And this is where you use the burn bile so that you can distract the horde.
Yeah, without a boomer bile or a Molotov, this area is really difficult to get through because you just have all of the zombies rushing that hallway.
So, the next map is gonna be the only map in the whole game where you can actually kick the bots.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to use console commands mid-run, but this is kind of unfortunate because a lot of people ask like, oh, why don't you just kick the bots if you're just going to kill them every round? Well, in some instances, it's actually faster to have bots, and I'll show that off in the next map. But you can reduce the amount of times that you have to kill the bots by doing a trick on this map. And this is why we do Dark Carnival first, because Dark Carnival is the only map where you can kick bots without using console commands. So if players are down inside the safe room in a specific spot and you start the finale, as you see on the bottom of the screen there, they are now gone, and they're gone. So like, no matter if I die or whatever, they're never coming back. I can even vote to change maps and they won't come with.
Yeah, it also works on players too. It's not just bots. Before the most recent like update of this game, you could not only kick other players in your group, you could even kick the host of the match, and then it would just crash the game or the server and it would end the game.
Yeah, that was hopefully fixed. Fortunately fixed in the latest patch. So yeah, as I said before, this spot right here doesn't have this kind of navigation, and the common infected and generally specials don't know how to path to that place. So common infected are just gonna dance around and they are gonna despawn eventually if they are outside of player's view.
Yeah. That being said, though, he can still get grabbed by some special infected. It's just harder. Like if there's a smoker in that window, it can grab him. He can get pounced by a hunter. It's just like a little bit more difficult because it doesn't know how to get directly to him.
Yeah, and if you get a really bad tank spawn, sometimes they can see you. Like they can spawn on top of the stage there, and if he spawns there, you have to kill him manually and stuff. But for the most part, they'll not know how to track to me because I'm in a god spot like this, and then they'll just inevitably die. And so finales like this, they you have to kill 2 tanks and 2 hordes, and then once you do that, you'll get picked up and saved. And the fastest way to do that is to kill them as you see them and make them despawn.
Yeah, even though this is a holdout section, which if you played the game, you know you're supposed to be waiting for a helicopter. It's not like a set timer. It's kind of like the cabin in Resident Evil 4, where you actually want to kill enemies as fast as possible because that's what triggers the next waves to continue on.
Yeah, so getting into the god spot is the really scary part. You're pretty safe once you're in it, but you have to get here fast so that the first wave doesn't get out before you. And as soon as you start the finale, I believe this is true on every finale, it instantly spawns more specials, like no matter what. So usually how special infected spawns work is you have, I think it's 35 seconds after you open the safe room door before specials spawn. And then it's basically like random which ones you get, and they spawn on like a time, sort of a timer / queue. So when you kill one, like if the timer's up, then another one spawns, etc. But they instantly spawn on the finales.
Basically, special infected have their individual timer. Like it's different for smoker, charger, for jockey, and every other special infected. But they only have 2 slots available on the whole map, and there can only be 2 special infected at the same time.
Okay, so right now Waifu did what's called a vote map bind change. So instead of going back to the main menu, which is normally how a lot of casual players will do it, and then selecting the map there, he actually does a vote, which is going to change both the difficulty back to expert and also changes the map to the next one, which is Swamp Fever. The reason he does this is, like he said before, it makes it so his bots stay dead and it only keeps him with one, and it also makes it so it saves time, because this game times off of the load remover, meaning it only removes the load. So if you go back to the menu, it's way slower.
Yeah. Also, Ellis is a snitch, so I took him out. He told on Nick.
Yeah. And another thing about it is you're probably wondering how he's voting without going into the main and going into like the pause menu and doing it. He's actually allowed to do it because he can create binds to do one input, and so he's only doing one input. It's why he has to do 2 separate votes to change the difficulty and to change the map. He can't like set it so it does those 2 votes at once. He has to do them separately.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is like the main reason that we play on the earliest patch. This is on patch 2.00.0. And this is because there's a glitch in this version called Infinite Stumble, which I'm going to show off here. It's very, very cool. Basically, if you're stumbling and you switch weapons, you will just loop your stumble animation over and over again. And we can use this to fly across gaps like this. This is basically the only way to skip this section, and it saves about like 2 minutes. You can, if you get lucky, you can get a tank and have him hit you across, but that's really hard. And you also have to get a tank. Coach stumbles like just a tiny bit faster, and this is like the only part that's useful. Other than that, all the survivors are basically exactly the same. But Coach
basically
is going.
he has the highest stumble speed for some reason. No one knows why this happens.
He's a big boy.
Once he gets moving, dude, he's on a roll. You can't stop him.
Also, yeah, we like still don't know why this happens, but like 2 or 3 seconds, I can't really remember exactly. After a stumble animation, you just lose gravity for some weird reason.
Yeah, so you're not immediately floating, but if you stumble for long enough, then you become floating. And it's actually pretty scary because if you have like a hunter or a smoker, they can grab you out of the air. And I've definitely been hit by a tank with a rock while I'm flying across the gap before. So it's not totally safe, but...
So this map is actually really difficult for bunny hopping. We talked about it earlier, how you need to hit the ground at the perfect time before you lose your speed. The problem with this map, however, is that because even though there's water, you can still bee hop through it. But the issue with it is that there's underwater like geometry that we can't see. So because of that, you have to land basically completely blind on like really jagged areas. So it's really important to get a lot of adrenaline shots here, because when you're moving through water, you get a movement penalty. But if you have adrenaline, you don't get that movement penalty, so it saves a lot of time and makes it a lot easier to get through. Luckily though, he's getting a lot of adrenaline spawns, and he should be able to do a skip here. If you have adrenaline speed, you can kind of just
jump right up there. Nice. And that skips spawning a horde here. So water has, yeah, like you said, water makes your movement speed really slow, but you can negate this by having perfect bunny hops. So all you need to do, it's really simple, is just perfectly bunny hop, tick perfect every time through a big section of water where the ground is uneven underneath and you can't see the ground. It's really simple. That's all you need to do. Or you could just get lucky and get adrenaline. Those are your 2 options.
I'm sure you can get in like 10 minutes of practice maybe.
Yeah. Just memorize the floor pattern underneath the water and then consistently hit the hops. It's not that bad,
actually,
right?
for this one last part, I actually remember the pattern. But yeah,
how many hours do you have?
I guess I'm the
like
real one.
6,000?
Cool. Yeah, and water is really, really bad because stuff like this happens.
Yep.
Oh my god,
man.
you missed.
Oh no. All right.
We're good.
That's okay. That's okay.
You don't need to worry. This car can't be hit by the tank.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering
also,
about that.
It's also a weird thing that some cars cannot be hit by the tank, and some cars can be.
So here, you're gonna see me do this a lot. I start healing as I close the safe room door, and this is because anytime you're starting an action into the safe room, when the door closes and it switches levels, it just auto finishes. So instead of like waiting for me to heal and then closing the door, or closing the door and then healing in the next room, I can just cancel the healing animation by the level switch. And so that saves a lot of time on healing. Not that you should ever have to heal.
Ideally, you wouldn't want to heal at all, but as you can just do it instantly in like half a second in the safe room. It's really handy in speedruns.
And plus, you
also
always get like a med kit there too, so it's like there's really no reason not to, because it's not like you have to, you know, ration your supplies.
The funny thing is, the same thing happens with the defib. So if you start defibbing someone, it will also end this action, and you can do some pretty interesting stuff in co-op, but only in co-op, unfortunately.
So this map is kind of scary. It's got a crescendo event, which is one of those horde spawning events. And there's an invisible wall on the back end here that despawns when you start it. So where this common's sitting on this rock, you can actually just go right over it, but only after you start the horde, of course, because why not? And then you could just like basically skip this whole section, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So common infected, actually, believe it or not, are the hardest part of the run. They're very, very scary. If they even in the slightest touch like the whim of your excellence behind you as you b-hop, you immediately lose all of your speed. If they hit you in the air, you actually keep your speed, but as soon as you miss a b-hop, you immediately stop, like fully. And that's really, really bad. So you like need to keep commons away from you as much as possible. And actually common management is probably like the most important thing to learn in the game besides straight up bunny hopping.
So Waifu just killed Alice there with his pistol instead of a shotgun. There is actually a very specific reason that he did that, if you want to explain it.
So yeah, basically he actually wants the bot to be alive when he's doing some little trick right there. Yes, there is not an fast way or an easy way to get into the god spot on this map, and the best way to do this is to teleport back to the safe room immediately after starting the event. Waifu is going to do that by downing the bot in the safe room and then not letting him bleed out, so he still be alive. And then he's gonna get himself stuck inside a map, inside like an object, and that will make him teleport to the nearest teammate after 10 seconds.
Yeah,
and
so basically like if you get stuck inside of an object, the game's like, oh no, our collision sucks. Well, I don't want you to soft lock, so I'm just gonna teleport you somewhere. And so it decides to teleport you to a teammate. So right here, I intentionally get stuck by standing and crouching into this corner. And so now I can't move. Like no matter how hard I try, I'm stuck. Now, as long as I have a teammate alive, I'll teleport to him after 10 seconds. If he were to die, then I would just die. So I really have to beat him to his own death. Otherwise, it's like a huge time loss.
And also because he's in this area, and the game is just like, wait a minute, there's no one supposed to be over here, so we're not going to waste any resources and spawn zombies. So now this is like the calmest, chillest part of the run as we wait out the timer.
Basically the zombies are spawning inside the finale, but it's working as one giant god spot. Like they don't know where I am, so they just kind of like stand around and then despawn. And
basically, Valve put a giant nav blocker, near the ladder and the hole you go through, and you can come back from.
Yeah, so you're not supposed to be able to get out of it, so they don't program the zombies to know how to get out of it either.
It behaves like a giant god spot, and it's probably the biggest god spot in the whole game.
Yeah. That being said, you still can get special infected out in that area for some reason, and it's very easy for a charger when you're just going through those houses looking for supplies to just
haven't you got the spawns on top of?
Yeah.
Oh, they're having a party up there. Nice.
Yeah, a little fiesta.
where though these commons just spawn now, there can be specials, and special infected and tanks basically, if you're in the god spot, they just path straight towards you. Like they don't care about like objects that are ahead of them. So basically tanks are gonna get stuck in corners, walls, and objects, and this is how they are gonna die.
Any smilers in chat? Smile.
Yeah, this is the only time in the game that there's you get downtime, honestly.
Practice your backwards B hops on the hill. Oh, I got bad tank spawn. I went too far away. That's okay. Jeez, coach. So normally he gets stuck and die, but I moved too far away, so I hope I have enough ammo. Okay, I do. So now that's the last tank, and now the door's gonna open. So I gotta go, because the boat's gonna come pick me up.
Yeah,
I'm super late because that tank was really far away. Oh my god. Monka Giga. That would have been so bad. That charger almost got me. I would have to do the whole finale again.
You have to be really careful in this game. There, like, you can literally just basically die at any point. You can get special infected in the safe rooms at the very end. You can get them like literally everywhere. That's kind of like the thing that people love about this game, like they played like 10 years on, because like the AI director is actually really, really good in this game. And there are a lot of places that it'll screw you over by just placing a hunter in a corner that you can't see, or a charger behind a doorway.
Yep, and that's one of the things that makes like this run so fun to watch and to play. Like, you just never know what kind of crazy stuff's gonna happen. Like, every run is totally different. Like, just because you've done like one run and like finished it, or have watched a few runs, like you see new stuff all the time. Like, just crazy stuff that you like didn't even know was possible.
Like that.
Oh my god, I got the pipe bomb. Okay. Okay.
I don't think you're supposed to use an elevator when
Watch closely, chat.
Oh no.
No, it's on the side. Dang. Okay, so I made a deal with my chat that if I got a pipe bomb on Dead Center 1, I would go for the pipe drop. But my throw was a little off. Basically, if you throw a pipe bomb there, you can have it break your fall when you drop, and it saves like 8 seconds. It's basically a meme strat, but I actually hit it in a run the other day, and it was so hype. So I figured I haven't died yet, so I may as well try it.
Basically, Waifu was trying to get a stumble bag. Basically, almost every explosion in this game can make you stumble. And if you get stumbled midair, you just lose all your speed. And this is how you can break your fall.
Yep. So basically, I didn't really explain the skip either. So I just like yeeted myself out the like 50th story window or whatever, and strafed back into the floor below. And that skips a whole ton of the level. And then if you time it right, you can get yourself stuck inside the elevator doors, and then you can go on top of the elevator. Once you're on top of the elevator, you can use this little versus hole to actually skip starting the horde. So we're not going to start the horde at all, and because of that, sometimes the fire doesn't even render.
Yeah. This is like a really big area to skip to.
Very rarely.
This is bad.
Very rarely, but you can still get a horde sometimes, but it just because you got an RNG horde, not because it was an event. It's kind of funny.
So we really want, on this map, we really want a boomer bile and an adrenaline. The finale is a gas can finale, and we really need adrenaline for that. Makes it way safer and way faster. And we got a boomer bile, which is lucky on the first map, because they don't spawn on the second map, I don't believe. And we're gonna need that for the end of this map. For the cola.
Like, the only way you can get a boomer bile on this map is through hazmat zombies.
Hazmat zombies can randomly have boomer biles, but they don't spawn naturally on map 2.
And you can rarely still get them on map 3, but it's really rare.
So personally, Dead Center is my favorite campaign. It's like the chronological first campaign, but technically you're allowed to do the campaigns in any order that you would like. There's no rules for like which ones you have to do when in the speedrun. But it's always important to do. Excuse me.
Oh.
I'm talking, sir. Thank you. It's always important to do Dark Carnival first because that bot kicks. I swear I can talk. But after that, it's totally personal preference. You can do them in any order that you want. You need that one bot to make Swamp Finale for that teleport, and you also need one bot for the finale on this map. And you'll see why when we get there.
Yeah, you really it's kind of good because like you can really change the order to whatever you want. Like I'm pretty sure Eurus does a completely different route for main campaigns than Waifu, and it's even more prevalent than all campaigns. Like you usually start out with the same ones. That's like a pretty consistent thing, but for the rest of the 4 to 11 to 12 campaigns,
basically everyone starts with Dark Carnival because obviously you can kick 2 bots on them. Yeah, but then I do the Parish because I'm still gonna say Parish is the worst campaign ever.
Yeah,
Still gonna
Parish is the
hate
hardest
it.
campaign. So we got this Coke that we gotta deliver to Whitaker. And as soon as you start this event, special spawn. But if you have a boomer vial, you can throw it out of bounds, and it'll cause all of the commons to go after it, and you won't have to worry about them at all. But you still gotta worry about specials. Where'd it go? I don't know where I threw it. There it is. By the vending machines. Okay. I don't know where he is. Where is he?
Also, adrenaline in this campaign is very important. Basically, adrenaline speeds up every action by 200%. So you can just do everything twice as fast. Heal, defib, and also filling up the car with the cast also makes it faster for some reason.
That shit was too goddamn close.
I don't know where the hell that hunter went, but he scared me. So this is what Black Friday would have looked like if it wasn't canceled. This is like one of the scariest maps in the run, in my opinion. There's like a bug on this version of the game that allows for 2 of the same special infected to spawn within a certain area. Oh, hi, tank. That's a good tank right there. I'm dead. Goodbye, cruel world. I'm dead.
yeah. Everyone kind of points like, oh, the last man on Earth must be the hardest mutation in the entire like game, and really it's way easier just because like if you just see how many of these commons are just body blocking him. Oh no!
So close to the heal. Just kill me.
There we go. Like if there were no commons, he wouldn't have even batted an eye at that tank.
Like I said, dude, Black Friday deals. This is what it would have been like to get a PS5, but instead Walmart runs out of stock immediately. Hey, look, no tank this time. Wow. It's almost like it's random. That's crazy.
Yeah. So like everything is random, like, but that being said, there are some like things that happen like more often. Like tank spawns, like you can usually have an area where it's like, all right, there might be a tank here. Another thing is for whatever reason on the earlier patches of the game, you don't really get a overlap in tanks or witches. So if you get a witch spawn, you're usually okay for a little while before you get a tank spawn. And
Yeah, I
vice
think that's
versa.
just on every version actually. I think that tanks and witches
think
just
it was
kind of
patched
overlap each
recently.
other.
In the last
Maybe.
update, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that might be true. Yeah. Like they overlap each other. So if there's a witch, like I just got a witch there, there's not gonna be a tank within the immediate vicinity. There could still be a tank, but hey there.
Also, I think I'm pretty sure the reason why they can be double infected in this map is because this whole map behaves like a big event. And events usually might somehow glitch out the timers for special infected. So, for example, one special infected that doesn't have a timer at all it's always on 0, and that's why like the game thinks, oh, the timer didn't went off, so yeah, let's spawn disinfected one more time. So it sometimes spawns 2 chargers, 2 hunters.
Yeah, also speaking about overlapping spawns, so we got a tank here, which is actually really, really lucky because he spawned in a spot where he's like totally useless. I can't do anything. And when tanks are around, there are less zombies for hordes. And so when I started that crescendo event, there was like no zombies because the tank was spawned. So that's actually like a super lucky coincidental tank spawn on that map.
Hey, anyone out there?
So this is why we needed another bot. This is the other campaign that we need a bot for. If there is someone downed in the safe room when you go down this elevator, the event will just not start. It just the horde won't spawn. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it won't start automatically. Like casually, like it would be like the zombies would already be coming. They just scream and all that stuff.
This is probably the worst RNG because Waifu also has to get to 2 gas cans at the back and then go around.
Yeah, this is absolutely god awful gas can RNG. I don't even know what to do.
If you believe in my maths, the percent for good RNG is 40.5%. I don't know if I counted that right, but I'm pretty sure I did.
Back at me, folks.
So yeah, the gas can placements are random, and this is the worst possible RNG, which is just great. Y'all love it. I don't even know where to go. I think my pathing here is just so bad.
Yeah, now we went right.
Okay, we haven't even talked about the lore. So the area with the lore Left 4 Dead. So right now the reason they're getting these gas tanks is because they're trying to fill up Jimmy Gibbs Jr.'s race car, and they're gonna drive that down to, I believe, somewhere in Georgia, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, so right now they're in New Orleans or like that kind of area, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to meet up with like the military in order to escape. So a lot of these campaigns are trying to get to a certain survivor. Like Swamp Fever, you're getting to a boat that carries you through a majority of the game. Here we're trying to get this car so we can leave. Dark Carnivals, what happens after the car breaks down. It's like all that kind of stuff.
Does this say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Oh, I have way more. I'm just collecting all the gas cans, dude. Since we're on single player, we only need to collect 8.
So yeah, basically, as the event didn't start, you can still start it by pressing this information board.
Yeah,
Yes,
it turns
yeah,
the
this
information
game.
board into a big button, and you have to start the finale, otherwise you can't pour gas cans.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's really scary, because like I said, as soon as you start the horde, the specials spawn, and it's totally random which specials spawn, and I got 2 of the worst ones. I got Hunter and Charger, but thankfully they were in good spots. All right, so the Parish, Eurus's favorite campaign. This is like very, it's the hardest campaign for a lot of reasons. I'm gonna go for some individual level strats because I have recently been grinding the individual level run for this campaign, so I like know a lot of them. And there's a really cool one at the beginning here. It's a little bit random, so if I don't get it, it's okay. It doesn't save that much time, but it's really cool. Common boost you get to use a little out of bounds with.
Yeah. In comparison to the co-op run, oh, you're getting so close.
There we go. Thank you.
There we go. Nice. So in the co-op run, there's actually a lot of out of bounds because you have a trick that you can do where you can boost someone just like 1,000 feet up in the air by using a grenade launcher, and then they can stop their fall damage with a idle bug. But in the solo run, you don't have either of those tricks, so you can't really go out of bounds too much. But when you do, it's like really nice stuff like that.
Yeah, the co-op run is actually insane. The solo and co-op run are very, very different because since you have a companion in a co-op, you don't really have to worry too much about you know, specials and stuff. Like if you get grabbed, you can just get picked up. But solo run's much more like anxiety driving, and watching a really good paced run of Left 4 Dead 2 is like some of the most nerve-wracking things that you'll do. Honestly, it's so scary. Like, I have been on like really good pace before in this game, and I'm just like literally shaking, like, because there's just never know what's going to happen, and you have to execute at such a high level.
Yeah. And like also another good thing is with the out of bounds is because this game is designed for PvP as well, with the versus mode, there's actually a lot you can do out of bounds because it's designed for like special infected characters and players to be in those spots. So it actually makes it really like nice to go out of bounds because there's a lot of collision, you have like visibility, you know, it's not like you're walking on a completely blind area.
Yeah, there's like textures for everything and stuff. Yeah, because it's designed to be able to use in versus as well. This is really actually a pretty good point with the out of bounds. So here we're gonna do a crouch hop. This is a really hard trick. So basically it's a bunny hop like that, but you have to be crouching. And there's a pretty big misconception that you need to be crouching to bunny hop in this game. It's just not true. In fact, crouching while bunny hopping makes bunny hopping way harder. Because if you miss a bunny hop while crouched, you immediately lose all of your speed, like 100% of it. That's not the case when you're standing. But crouch hopping does give you a tiny bit more height. So using crouch hopping, I can get just over onto those cabinets and then common boost from there into the later part of the section. And then I use a throwable to build a bunch of common infected by the door, by the porta potties. They're in line, dude. It's like a festival, you know. Porta potties build a line and then just like step on their heads and jump right over the fence to skip that crescendo. That's like probably one of the more technical levels in the whole run, actually. And it's very scary because if you get commons on you before you do the crouch hop, it's just over. Like, you're not getting the crouch hop and you got to go all the way around.
I think you didn't change the difficulty.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of the big difference as well to all campaigns, or all campaigns legacy, I'll say. In all campaigns legacy, ooh, that was nice. You play through the Left 4 Dead 2 main campaigns, the DLCs, and the Left 4 Dead 1 campaigns, just ported over to Left 4 Dead 2. And not only is it harder because you're playing more maps, but you also have to play a lot of them on expert because you can only vote once per level on the patch that they use. And because of that, you have to play a lot on expert since you can't vote back, or you have to play with bots, which is way slow. So it's like you lose either way. And also on the Left 4 Dead 1 maps, the finales are faster on realism, so you have to play some of them on expert realism too.
Yep. And that's like, all campaigns legacy is one of those runs that like I would never submit to an event like this. Like, that's just like so scary, but it is really fun to do in that masochistic kind of way where, you know, everything kills you in one hit and stuff.
Watch yourselves.
But yeah, the Parish is a really hard campaign. A lot of the reason for that is because there's so many skips. Like, I just did like 3 right there. Like, there's 2 common boosts there. Make sure to take out the witch and stuff. This section right here is actually random, the pathway that you can take. This is second worst RNG, which loses like maybe 20 seconds of her best pattern.
Yeah, it's generally 50-50 what you're gonna get. There are 4 possible RNGs and 2 of them are good, 2 of them are bad.
Yeah,
It's 50-50.
and this is the second worst one.
Yeah, and the way it's different is that all these like mausoleums and graves are the same. However, the fencing that blocks off their pathing is different. So like that one will be open sometimes, or you know, they'll be closed. Ooh.
Get out of here with that, dude. Get out of here. Yeah, sometimes it's like really not smart to just try to run past some specials, especially smokers. Like, this fool just teleported in front of me. Yeah, sometimes if you outrun special infected, they'll actually teleport in front of you by despawning and stuff, and that's no fun.
Yeah. Also, another little thing is when he shoves, you can only do it a couple of times. You'll see if he shoves too much, there'll be like a circle that'll fill up. So it's kind of awkward when you're getting completely surrounded by a bunch of common infected and you're trying to push them away to like move on, and then you can't push anymore and they attack you again. You're like, what am I supposed to do?
Yep, that's why the melee is super helpful. If you get stuck, then you can just do that. So someone in chat asked, what is legacy run? So basically how it goes is that there was originally a category called all campaigns, and that was all 13 of the Left 4 Dead campaigns, including Left 4 Dead 1 maps and the DLCs. But then recently the community came together and updated the game with Valve's help. And Eurus was actually part of the testing of the new content. But they added a new campaign. So the previously deemed all campaigns was no longer all campaigns because there was a 14th campaign now. It was The Last Stand. And because the difference in basically the big differences are like a lot of the skips are patched in that version, and you are allowed to vote as many times as you want in solo. So the distinction between them being, if you're playing on an old patch for all campaigns, it's considered legacy, and if you're playing on newest, then that's all campaigns newest.
Yeah, it might sound silly to like have a completely different category for like, oh, it's only at one map added, but there's so much that's like different. Like all the god spots.
Oh god!
Oh my goodness!
What a god!
Oh, that tank just Kobe'd you. This should be fine though. If he can get he might be able to get the common boost here. Oh no! Oh, they comment up their
please,
boost. Oh man!
Please, comments, leave me. That's not exactly what I meant, but okay.
Yeah, I think you need to do it with a pipe bomb.
Yeah.
If he can get out of this.
How did he not hit me there? Excuse me. This is why I grabbed that pipe bomb, because you can stumble yourself on a pipe bomb. So if something like that were to fail, I have another try. You can actually bunny hop across this, but it's super hard.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's climbing up.
Oh, no.
This is.
Oh,
I'm just gonna.
over.
Oh look, never mind. Just kidding. We have a propane tank too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
That was
okay.
a
We got a third
propane
try. Gotta
Third
go.
tries the charm.
At this point, it might be faster just to do the finale, but God forbid, do not hit. Oh, okay. What? I'm just gonna start the finale. No one saw this. I gotta go,
You can
dude.
still tank
Sorry.
boost though.
Yeah. Oh, we could tank boost. That's true. Where is this hunter? Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Hi, buddy. Hello. Yes. Hi. Nice to meet you. I didn't switch weapons fast enough, so I didn't get the infinite stumble.
This has definitely never happened before.
It was just be the first time I didn't reset to this happening. That's for sure.
That's true, yeah. I don't know how you're still alive though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
There's
think
the
you
thing.
can just jump.
Just jump
across.
now. Yeah. Gotta go. Sorry, buddy. Oh my! Oh, and this
Oh
is
no,
left for
the
Knock him
jockey.
off! Knock him off! Knock him off! Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, welcome to Left 4 Dead 2.
First real death at least.
Yeah.
Not including the dead
That-
center one.
This is what happens when things go bad. But this is why this game is amazing, because that is just so fun. That's okay. Don't worry. So in practice today, I got a 101 with 3 deaths. My estimate is 110, I believe. So we'll be fine as long as I don't have that happen like 4 more times. You gotta love it. That's what you gotta love with Left 4 Dead 2 runs. I'm just surprised that I even lasted that long.
Yeah.
So basically, learning how to speedrun this game is like learning how to avoid those scenarios, like how to get out of those hard situations. And like basically, the more you experience, the better you are at that.
Yeah,
I would-
it's
I
just
would say
pure
a
attempt
good-
count and like situational awareness. Like every single time you do a run, you're gonna see some new special spawn and like some weird spot that you don't know how to deal with. And like you build like this catalog of insane weird backup strats that no one's ever seen before. But we
Yeah.
got propane tanks again. Propane tank spawns here are random, so that's why you bring the pipe bomb, just in case you don't get a propane, so you can infinite stumble.
So that's what was supposed to happen there. But yeah, that again, you know, no tank there, no special infected blocking him, no common infected close by. It's like just always different.
It's like a different game. Yeah, like that was like totally free compared to the last one.
Yeah, I would say that probably 80% of this game is just good improv. Like, you know, other games, like you can memorize a lot of it. Here, like memorization will only get you so far. You have to really know how to like, oh, there's a charger down this hallway. How do I avoid it? Or, oh, there's a tank down this hallway. Can I do a cool little jump over to avoid getting hit?
Yeah, you like jazz? Left 4 Dead speedruns are like jazz. This is all improv.
You know, like sometimes a tank will spawn here. So
Oh,
you have
God.
To avoid. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, she had 1 HP. Oh my. Okay. Classic. She literally died in 1 pistol shot. That's awesome. Good game.
Those deaths are like literally the perfect example of like this game being Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah. So,
Like-
little anecdote from my stream. In my main campaign splits, I wonder if you could guess what the split is called. It's named Worst Split, and I'm sure that you can see why.
Oh my god.
This split sucks.
That's
It is
just
the worst split.
That's just the best thing. A tank just walking into the trash cans and like one of them just hitting you, like getting you completely
Yeah.
stuck.
Well, like, so we talked about like why this is the worst map, or we said it was. The reason is because we talked a lot earlier about AI pathing and tracking and how they go to you with the nodes and how they can find you. And in most of the other levels, they're actually like very linear. Like if you zoom out and look at them, they're basically a straight line most of the time. However, on this level, this campaign, there are a lot of intersecting hallways that are like zigzagging next to each other. And while the player has to go around the zigzags, the special infected can just climb over one of the walls and be right there with you. Also,
Oh my god.
Oh man.
What
Let's
a
see if we
god
get the combo
gamer.
boost. But that's why it's so difficult, because like the special infected can just easily track you and find you around all these like little corners.
What is this dude? He's just chilling there. Is it standing? Okay. I'm just gonna start. Okay. Yeah, but basically like the special is like, oh, you went around 3 corners. I'm just gonna climb 1 wall. How about that? Is that fine? Okay, cool.
Also, there was are chargers that just wait for you until you come out of the corner. They're just waiting
Like that.
for you.
Yeah.
Well, this one
Yeah. No.
was
He
actually walking towards you, but like, there can be chargers that just wait. They just wait until you come out of the corner. They get a free charge on you. Like,
This is fine. Yes, that's so true. The butterfly. Oh my god!
Yeah.
No. The butterfly effect, dude. All this happened because that tank rock hit me
Yeah.
like 5 minutes ago now.
We
So,
were all
yeah.
like talking like, oh, like this run was going really well. He only had 1 death, and that was kind of like he knew he was going to die, but he wanted to try a cool strat. But here it's just like, you know, the run was going super, super, super well, and then just bam. And like
And
if you're
then
on a good
Parish
pace, like
happens.
that's your run dead. Just like nothing you can do about that. Completely random RNG.
Bro, I can't believe that charger. This game is being so mean to me, dude. I'm glad I set my estimate for
but
110.
yeah, still there is like there
There's
is
only one
always
campaign
like
left, so.
one specific thing that you actually could have done to avoid all of that. But there is like sometimes there's just no way you could have thought about that like then. If
Yeah,
you never had
exactly.
that scenario.
That's an important distinction as well, is like rarely does the game ever put you in a position that's completely 100% unwinnable. Like it does happen, but it's actually really rare. Like most of the time there's something that you could have done. And a lot of the time you'll see me like figure out what I'm supposed to do and then do it in the heat of the moment. But you can't always expect yourself to do that every single time.
So yeah, if you're interested in running Left 4 Dead 2, there is a very nice community who will like answer pretty much any question you have. However, you do have to mentally prepare for things like this to clear your run.
Yes, very much so. But yeah, really wholesome community full of a lot of people that are willing to help you out and stuff. It's one of those games that just takes a lot of knowledge. So, you know, just watching runs is a huge. Where are all the comments? Okay, watching runs, it's in and of itself is actually like a huge step in learning. Just so that you can experience more. Oh, he said pause, champ. I'm just gonna stand here and let him kill me, I guess. But yeah, the more things that you expose yourself to, the bigger your brain gets, the more wrinkles, you know. You get a brain blast.
You have to think of it as
Look at how
like,
easy this one
thing-
was.
Yeah, exactly. No witch, no special infected unless there's one in here. There might be.
No,
we're
okay,
good.
we're good.
If a jockey came down the ladder, I would have just, oh man.
That would have been great. It can happen. Specials can spawn in the safe room, by the way. It does, and tanks can do it too.
And witches too.
Yes, and witches.
They especially like to do that on expert realism when you can't kill those witches.
Yeah. Important distinction, realism, you can't crown witches. And crowning them is where you kill them in one hit, like a clean sweep. That doesn't work on realism. So sometimes they spawn right here at the end of the level. And it's just like, what do I even do? Yeah, first try, dude. Easy clap. That was the easiest quarter of my life. Parish is the easiest map. Eurus is wrong, dude. Well, I don't see why you think Parish is the worst level.
Yeah. So speaking of, this level is actually a little bit different. You always have a guaranteed tank spawn on this bridge, and normally with every other area in the game, if you get hit by a car that a tank punts at you, even on easy, you'll die immediately. However, this map is a little bit different. It actually will not kill you
If you're in the air. It's only if you're
in the air. Yeah.
No, it just doesn't kill you. It
Oh,
just
really? Oh, yeah, that's
it just
right. Yeah,
damages you
okay.
by 50. I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It must have just like landed on top of me then.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
it might just sometime like move twice, and you're gonna go like through the car twice, and that's when it
Yeah.
might kill you.
I also
So
think
I
it
guess
doesn't
that's
knock you
how it
anywhere
happens
too.
sometimes. But yeah, like everything can happen in this game, basically.
Yeah.
Sometimes
So
this
tank's
tank
always
can
gonna
just
spawn in
not
the same
spawn.
spot.
I'm pretty sure I saw this tank spawn in the water once. Like he just fell into water.
I think this is also like one of only two like guaranteed tank spawns. The other one being in the sacrifice.
Yep. It's pretty
Other than the
rare.
finales, of course. But
But from finales, yeah. Oh, well, there's another one on the cold stream, like on the last map, right
Oh, yeah,
before
yeah,
I
you
like
get to the
Cold
chapter.
Stream. It's okay. We can forget about Cold Stream.
yeah,
We
I
can
honestly,
forget
that
about
was
the
out
Cold
of my
Stream.
mind completely.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, Cold Stream exists every time. Like doing all campaigns runs, and then you're like, get to the end, and you're like, oh yeah, Cold Stream exists. I totally forgot about this map.
You're like, why
All
would
I
have,
know
like,
is
four
all I know
more
is the
splits?
passing. Yeah. All right, here at the last campaign. Hopefully, I've been doing hard rain ILs all day. Hopefully this is good. But hard rain is known for having lots and lots of witches, as well as water and backtracking. It's basically the worst thing. It's like all the worst things in video games combined. Water levels, backtracking, and yeah, and I mean, is there
Witches.
much worse than water and witches? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. The only way this could be worse is if there was a sewer part.
Yeah, that's been Parish, so we don't have to worry about that. So I was hoping I would get a boomer bile there. It's a really nice backup strat for a strat we're gonna do on the next map, but I got a pipe bomb, which is okay. We're hoping that we get a boomer bile in the safe room at the end of this level, because if I don't get a propane tank, it's gonna be really scary to do a trick on the next map to skip a crescendo event. And like other water maps, it's really important that I get adrenaline.
If
There's
you
an
like,
ambulance there. There's adrenaline in it. This is really good.
Yeah,
If you
so
don't
either
have
ambulance, you
propane
can
tank.
get 2 adrenaline or 2 defibs, or you can get 1 of each.
if you don't get propane tank, then for a bile you actually need 56, I believe, at least 57 HP to survive the fall with the boomer
Yeah.
bile.
So hopefully we get a boomer bile in here, and then hopefully we get a propane tank in the next map. No boomer bile, of course. Classic.
Don't worry, you're gonna get propane tank, I believe.
I hope so. Please.
Hey, anyone out there?
Please, game.
Yeah.
So I got 1 adrenaline in here and 1 in the ambulance. That's pretty like decent RNG. You could potentially get none in either, and that would be absolutely devastating. But we got lucky, so we got 1 on each. On the way back, when you're backtracking, there's water everywhere, and it's really hard to be up through the water on this level. So
Also, people were asking earlier in chat, he's not going to be doing cold stream. This is patch 2.0, so, oh man. This is patch 2.0, so essentially this is the patch that like the game shipped with in 2009. So there's literally only the 5 campaigns that we're seeing here that are the main ones.
Basically, main campaigns is like the first and like the true story of the game. So if I first 5 campaigns, the complete story of Left 4 Dead 2, and that's all. Other DLCs are the passing, and there's that's an additional to the main story. It is definitely considered.
Okay, there we go. Thank God.
there it is propane tank. The passing is definitely considered. How do you say this? Canonical. I mean, canon.
Don't blink.
So,
you might miss it. This is kind of crazy. Hopefully I hit it.
Right. Let's see if he gets it. You've been hitting it all day.
Pause, champ. Nice. Good.
Yes.
nice.
So that was, again, you know, kind of the same thing as the stumble animation. When he takes explosive damage, it kind of stops his momentum and makes it so instead of falling to his death there, he can just skip that elevator sequence, skip a crescendo event, and then go to the gas station.
So you can see that he actually was aiming below the propane tank. It is because when you throw the propane tank on certain lerp, the headbox of the propane tank is actually below the actual propane tank that you see falling. So that's why he actually aimed below.
So basically
too.
Since this game is built for multiplayer, a lot of the models are actually lined up so that when you're playing with lag, it lines up. So like the jockey and the hunter hitbox, if you look at the actual raw hitbox instead of just the model, you'll notice that when they're lunging and stuff, the jockey is actually approximately a whole jockey's length above it. So when a jockey's jumping at you, you want to melee and look up. Because if you melee forward, you're going to go underneath the jockey, even though that's where the jockey is at.
And jockey is also very short.
Yeah. And the hunter hitbox is actually a whole hunter's length in front of it. So you have to melee really early for hunters. The same thing kind of applies to the propane tank there. I shot really far below it because it was falling. And with the default, what is called lerp, basically the hitbox is way ahead of it. Lerp is a value you can actually change. You can actually change your lerp so that it lines up more accurately, but I play on default lerp because I'm lazy. So.
Basically, the default lerp is 100 milliseconds. I play on 50 milliseconds, and it means that the propane hitbox right there is aligned perfectly. Like it's in exact right place. So if you play on 50 milliseconds lerp, you don't need to worry about like aiming below the propane tank. You can just aim directly at it, and it's gonna work.
That's like the only thing in the whole game that it actually like is pretty useful besides just like general gameplay to adjust your lerp, but it's a lot of work. I don't know how to use console commands, dude. I play on console a lot of the time back in the day, so
it's really fun though, because like if you can actually turn on like the wireframes of the hitbox, and if you like go into like a spawn and set yourself to god mode so you can't get grabbed, and you just can watch the hunter chase after you in a circle, and like their hitbox is literally like not even touching its model. They're like completely separate. Like not even, there's no overlap. It's kind of hilarious. And
yeah, the best part is you can just blame the game then. Yeah. You can just be like, oh, it's the game's fault. Like, no, I didn't mess up. But once you know, then it's your fault. So I have cursed you with the burden of knowing this information. You're welcome. Also, if there's a jockey on a higher elevation than you and he jumps at you, you're just dead. Good luck. Yeah, you can't melee. You can't melee him. It's like impossible. So, all right, so we're coming up on the very last map of the run. This is the second to last, and then we got one last holdout finale where we're gonna take a bath, wash ourselves up and stuff. Maybe one of you guys can talk about the finer details of that one.
So basically, there's a closet on the next map, and the bubbles respawn if before you start the event. So Waifu want to damage it just enough so it dies fast, but it dies after he starts the event. So the bot will not respawn in the closet.
Yeah, because if he respawns in the closet, then that means I have to stop and then kill him again. Like after I already started the finale, which is really bad.
And this damage is, I'm pretty sure it's perfect.
Yeah, that seems really solid actually. Gotta be fast.
Also, if you're not
There's
careful,
a
you
porta
can
potty over there.
Yeah.
So he'll respawn there. That's what we're talking about. It's and we just gotta be really careful and get into this god spot. Oh, that's so scary every time.
You've only lost one run there on PB pace.
Yeah, last thing in the whole run. Basically, the rest of the run is waiting. When I was grinding for my 54 PB, I definitely have walked off of the edge here and died. Right at the very end.
Also,
hi
if
there.
you are,
Don't
you are
kill that
starting to
boomer,
run this
don't kill
game-
that boomer, definitely.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll die. We're just hanging out. We're friends now, I guess.
If you're interested in speedrunning this game, though, expect to die a lot. Like, don't let it discourage you to get grabbed by a jockey or a hunter. Like, it's kind of just expected. Like, pretty much every single category, except for main campaigns, usually the world record has like a death in it, at least one. Like, all campaigns, Legacy has one. All campaigns, you know, all of them do. So, like, just get used to it.
Well, apart from main campaigns,
Yeah,
very high
so-
level main campaigns basically means death of the run, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I would really suggest if anyone's interested, definitely join the Discord for Left 4 Dead 2 speedrunning. It's a really awesome speedrun. It's my favorite speedrun. There's so much cool stuff going on here, and it's very, very fun. Really awesome community. Lots of different categories to try out. You can run on newest or oldest, whatever.
I think
is
you
up.
can actually move to the right a bit to stumble this boomer.
Maybe I could push her off.
Yeah. Oh my!
Aw.
You did that literally the moment he was trying to vomit on you. That was so epic.
Oh man,
Yeah.
she was hanging out, dude.
Also-
Friendship ended with Ellis. Boomer is now my best friend.
Also, a little thing here, he's actually healing himself constantly because he puts him to third person so he can see if there's any special infected, because he still can get grabbed by like smokers or junkies and stuff, so he has to, you know, be careful about that.
Yep, that's what the healing's for, and it makes it look like Coach is taking a bath, so that's even better.
You can see the diesel can.
Game on, baby.
Is back.
Where you all at?
Oh yeah. Also, if you're on this spot, you can actually see like what's actually below this water. Looks kind of
Yeah,
funny.
it's just a big flat surface.
Of course, there's a death trigger down there, so
Yeah. You have to be careful as well. Like, if there are bots alive and for some reason you wanted to get in here, you have to make sure that you hold spacebar because otherwise you'll hang. But since that never really comes up in solo since you kill the bots all the way anyways. But yeah, that's why I like give a shout out. Thanks like so much for having this run. I know it's a little bit volatile, but it's really, really fun and a great time. And if you have someone that's like knows what they're doing, it can be pretty consistent, you know? Just gotta set a generous estimate. And this is really my favorite speedrun. I run a lot of games. If anyone out there doesn't know me, I think I know like 16 games now. I run a lot of Left 4 Dead 2, but also like Resident Evil 4, 2, and 3 remake, as well as RE1 remake, the Devil May Cry series, and all that stuff. And every Friday I do a marathon of a bunch of those games in a row, just a bunch of no resets to just show them all off. And yeah, so check that out if you're at all interested. And I'm like super into getting people into speedrunning itself. So if you ever have any questions about a run you want to get into or whatever, you can always feel free to ask me. And that is time. How'd I do? It wasn't too bad. I died a lot.
Looks like it was a low or a high 106.
That's not too bad, considering all that happens.
Yeah, even with all those like late deaths too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Not as good as I was hoping. Kind of hoping for a deathless run, but Left 4 Dead is really random, so I did the best I could. I hope
Yeah,
you guys all enjoyed.
GG's. It was entertaining.
Well, I'm glad. Thanks.
Yeah, we highly recommend running it if you want something hard and really satisfying. Because if you finally get a good run that you want to get, the satisfaction is unimaginable.
Yeah, for sure. Also, rip Ellis. Memory of
in memory of Ella's dying probably what,
couple
30 times,
maybe like 30, 40 times. Yeah.
Well,
All right.
thank you, Waifu. Before you go, just a quick question. What other games do you run?
I run a lot of games. Devil May Cry 1, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to learn 2 very soon, so I could do 1 through 5 runs. Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 Remake, as well as Resident Evil 4. Left 4 Dead 2, Dead Space 2, Fear,
Halo 3.
Super Hot, Halo 3. Yeah. I run a whole bunch of games. I really like those like high skill ceiling, like heavy execution games that are really fun. And my Twitch is just Waifu. I also make YouTube videos, video essays and stuff under WaifuRuns. If you're interested, just let me know. I'm always happy to help people get into speedrunning as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for showcasing this. And thank you so much to our lovely commentators for helping me understand what exactly was going on.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Yep, thanks. We are going to get set up for the last run of the night, which is going to be Blasphemous by someone you saw earlier. Teddy's coming back for us. So hang tight through the break while we get set up for that.